I've known Nick for a few months now. I've really appreciated the help that I've received, and also his philosophy on marketing, and I know that he's a specialist in helping chiropractors, and that's why I asked him if he would come down here and if he would share with you guys. He's the owner of Chiro Basics, which is a digital marketing service that focuses on chiropractors. I asked him to share with you how to get more new patients for the clinic owner, and for the associate. Nick, come on up, buddy.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I was talking to Dr. Knoll before this event as we were planning, and I sent him the slides that I wanted to present. And I think I made a mistake because he goes, "Are you sure you can get through all that in 45 minutes?" I was like, I'm going to try. So I apologize ahead of time. I have a lot of information for you. It's going to be a fire hose. I'm going to try to whip through it as quick as I can because I know that we've been here all day. It's almost 5. We're probably getting hungry. So bear with me. If you didn't grab a book, I have a stack of books out there that goes through all of this and more. If you want the slides afterwards, you just email me. I'll send them over to you, no problem. But yeah, my name is Nick. I am the founder of Chiro Basics. We're a digital marketing agency that focuses on working with practices like yours on really dominating the digital space. There's a lot of things you could be doing online to help drive patients in the door. And we've built a pretty good system that works well, and I want to teach you how it works so you can implement this in your practice. I'm not asking you to hire us. I'm just wanting to teach you how you can get more out of the digital space, because a lot of offices are doing it wrong, or they're missing stuff that they could be doing significantly better. So I tried to skim down the content into 4 main pillars to focus on. There's obviously a gazillion things you could do online. The digital space is massive. But I'm going to start with these 4 pillars, and I think this will give you a lot of action items you can take back to your practice and start implementing today. So the first place I always like to start is the website. Your website, we consider this the foundation of your entire marketing program and in your promotional strategy. Rather you do digital marketing, traditional marketing, etc. The reason why is because when you go out and you do advertising and promotion and you're getting yourself in front of more people and you're trying to attract people, what ends up happening is you get that exposure, and the first thing they do is they go look you up online and they hit your website. So your website is kind of the place that everybody is going to funnel to. Regardless of which channel you decide to promote the practice, hopefully you're doing all of them to create massive exposure. They're gonna drop on the website. So the website's got to be in a really good place. We want the website to do 3 main goals, and I'm going to go through each of these goals with you really quickly to try to make sure that your website, you can go back, look at your website, make sure that you're doing all of these things to get the most out of all of your promotional efforts. So the first goal is to be found. When you go out and you do your advertising, if people go to look you up and they can't find you, that's a problem. So we need to make sure that you are highly visible and your website is easily accessible across all the major platforms. So I'm going to talk about that. The second goal is to educate people. I'm really big on patient education. The vast majority of people do not understand chiropractic care, and I'm going to talk more about that. But the second goal is to educate. When they hit your site, they need to know, can you help solve my problem? We're going to talk about that. The third goal is to convert them. Is the site designed in a way that's going to help people take the next action and come in and walk in the door? So let's go through this really quick. The first one, being found. You've probably heard the term SEO. SEO is strategies that you can use to help show up when people are actively looking for help. The good news is that if you implement really good strategies in SEO, you're also going to show up on the AI platforms. Everybody's now heard of ChatGPT. People are probably looking for help on Google, Bing, ChatGPT, etc., who already have decided that they want help and they want to see a chiropractor. So we want to implement some strategies to make sure that you're showing up when people are actively looking. Those are easy conversions when they're already actively looking, so let's make sure you're showing up. There's hundreds of factors that go into the algorithm. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but they essentially boil down to these three big buckets. So I'm going to work through these really quick. The first is the technical structure. This is how your website's coded on the back end. It's the title tags, the meta descriptions, the site schema, the site maps, etc. This is the code that tells Google what your site is about. It allows Google's bots to crawl, read it, and index it appropriately. So that way you show up in the search results. If you can't get this part right, you won't show up. I don't expect you to be SEO and coding experts. I suggest that you find someone that does websites and understands the back ends and the code to implement that for you. Once you get that part right, the next step is to start focusing on the second bucket, which is your content. This is the words on the page. A lot of chiropractic offices, when they put up their sites, this is a big one they miss out on. You talk about that you're a chiropractor, you're the top chiropractor, you got patient reviews, etc. But the problem is that people aren't necessarily searching for a chiropractor. The vast majority of people are searching for, how do I get rid of my problem? I've got headaches, I've got back pain, I've got neck pain. How do I solve that issue? So you really have to focus on creating content for the site that goes over all your major conditions and symptoms. You should have a dedicated page for every symptom and condition that you want to focus on. So if someone goes and types in neck pain treatment near me, tips to get rid of my neck pain, you should have a page that Google can crawl and has all sorts of really good informational content on neck pain. So that way when someone searches, Google goes, oh, this is really valuable. I'm going to put that in the search results. So you start showing up more frequently, you start showing up higher. Educational blog articles, same thing, same concept. You want to create content that's going to help fill that bucket and be super valuable for people. The higher intent you can create, the more relevancy it is for these search results. You'll show up more frequently. Okay, the third bucket is your off-page signals. This is everything happening off of your website. So off of your website, you've got your social media presence, you've got your Google Maps listing, you've got Apple Maps, Bing Map, Yelp, Foursquare, Yellow Pages. There's hundreds of directories and things that can list local businesses and you should have a presence on. Go out and claim your business on all the major directories. There are services you can sign up for that will go out and do them all for you. We highly recommend this. Google is crawling all of these platforms. When Google looks at two practices, everything else being equal, one is showing up everywhere online on all the major directories, one is not. What looks more authoritative? Of course, the one that shows up everywhere, Google goes, oh yeah, that's legit. That's a established business. They're very reputable. They're known. People are talking about them. There's noise coming from all these off-site platforms. So go out and claim your business on these listings. Okay, so that was quickly some strategies and some tips for you to help get found, being more visible online. The second bucket is the education bucket, the second goal. I talked about this a couple seconds ago about the education component. So here's a stat for you. 30 to 35 million Americans will see a chiropractor every year. That only represents 10%, which means now you've got 90% of people not seeing a chiropractor. Why? It's not because they're choosing to let their spine deteriorate or to live in pain. It's because they don't know anything about chiropractic care. Spinal health is not common knowledge in our culture. So when they hit the site, we want to, again, teach them about all of the symptoms and conditions and establish authority and why chiropractic care is the best choice. If everybody knew as much about spinal health and chiropractic as you do, of course they would choose to see a chiropractor. It's the obvious choice, right? So your website's got to do a good job of teaching them, can you help solve my problem? Is this the right place for me to go to get help with my issue? You got to have really good educational content and convince them that this is the best place to get help. Video content, tips and tricks, stretches they can do from home, why chiropractic care is the best option for them. Okay, the third bucket, or the third goal, getting people to convert. It's great if they can find you. It's cool if you can educate them and convince them chiropractic care is the best option, but if the website's not converting them, then it's not doing you any good. So is your website got the right structure to help drive conversions? Do you have your new patient special available? Do you have your book appointments and your call buttons highly visible and popping off of the page in the right spots? You got to make sure your phone number is clickable so people can click on it and it will initiate a phone call. Having a book appointment button, having an online calendar. Man, I can't tell you how many times that we've thrown an online calendar on someone's website and their conversions go through the roof. People don't want to pick up the phone and talk to you. They actually just want to do it themselves. They'd rather just pick a day and time. There's whatever anxiety about talking to people on the phone. Do you have a chat widget? Man, you throw one of these on your website, you'll get a ton of leads from that too. Same concept. People would rather have this instant gratification rather than leave a message, try to talk to someone over the phone, etc. Do you have strong scheduling buttons? Do you have social proof showing your reviews that other patients are having a good experience? More book appointment buttons. Are you showing off patients' experience? Are the people successful with chiropractic care? Are they happy to be there? Well, how is it impacting their lives? Do you have lots of good testimonials? Showing that social proof gives people confidence that this is the right place and that they're going to get the help that they want. Okay, so those are some things related to the website. Again, once the website is in a really good place, it can nail all of these things, then no matter what strategy and promotional effort you go out and do, it's going to push them to a website that's going to do its job on converting them and getting them in the door. Holy smokes. That was a lot on websites. You guys good there? Good? Okay. All right, now that the website is in a good place, I want to talk about the next two pillars. So when we talk about advertising and promotion and trying to get more patients in the door for you and your team and your associates, there's two big areas to focus on. If you look at the population, let's talk about who these people are. You can really bucket these people into two primary groups. On the left side, you've got what we call this active group. These are people who have identified, hey, I got headaches, I got neck pain, I got back pain, I got something going on, and I need some help. Maybe they've decided they want to see a chiropractor, and they're actively looking for help right now, and they're doing so on the major platforms. You know, Google's got 92% of the market share on the search, and then you've got ChatGPT is starting to creep in there quite a bit. You've got Bing and Yahoo and the other ones and whatever. But the point is we want to have a strategy to show up consistently on the search platforms so that your visibility is high when they're already actively looking for help. We consider those people low-hanging fruit. They've already decided they need help. They're out there looking for it. You just got to show up. The second bucket is that other group, that 90%, the people that are already driving by your office every single day that need you, but they don't know it. So how do we pull these people in? Well, we got to teach them, we got to educate them, we got to attract them. Now, have you guys run social media ads before? Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges with social and how to fix some of those problems because, again, most of these people are uninformed. They're not familiar with spinal health, so a lot of practices could struggle with this if it's not done properly. But does that breakdown make sense? We got these two groups? Yep. Excellent. Okay, so the first group is the people that are already searching. So we have we call it our Google Domination, our search domination system, where essentially if you look at a search results page, you've got three big sections. I'm sure you've experienced this. Usually the top, sometimes you get ads. You've seen those ads? Anybody run Google ads for their practice before? Pretty cool. This is a pretty effective way to get to the top of Google right away. So how these work is you pick out all the keywords that are valuable to you. Chiropractor near me, back pain treatment near me. How do I get rid of my headaches? And you say, hey, Google, anytime someone types in my keyword, I want my ad to show up at the top. The traditional Google ads are a cost per click model, which means you don't pay any money until someone clicks on your ad and visits your website. So that's why it's good to have a good website in place. So when they click on this, you know it's going to go to a place that's going to convert them. But that's a super efficient way to spend marketing dollars because they were already looking for you. You just got to show up. Now it gets even better. Google recently has been rolling out what are called Google Local Service Ads. Has anybody seen those? Local Service Ads? This is moving away from a cost per click model, and now it's a cost per phone call. So now you're not paying to have a visitor on your website. Now you're paying for someone that picked up the phone and called your front desk. And you're only paying for qualified leads. So if someone was searching for a service you don't provide, they're outside of your service area, or they're an existing patient, you don't pay for that. You only pay for it when it's a qualified lead. So the Google local service ads, they're a little bit more expensive than a click. You're going to pay more for those, but it's significantly more worth it because it's much more likely that you're going to convert someone who is on the phone with your front desk versus someone who's just browsing your website. Was there a question?
I don't mean to steer you wrong. I know you got a short.
Yeah.
I've been doing that, and I'm still paying for existing patients because the patients just search, they see my name, they click it, phone calls into my office, and it's like, Brian, why do you keep clicking that? You just cost me another $150. So
For the phone calls?
I can bring it up and show you.
Yeah, we might have to look at that because you're not
I'm just
supposed to.
saying,
Yeah.
I know, and there's no way to tell them, hey, this is an existing patient. So I just wanted to throw that out.
Yeah, no, I
Be
appreciate
careful.
that. I would love to look at the account because you're not supposed to pay for anyone that's not a qualified lead. So,
Great.
yeah,
That's what they sold me on.
yeah, exactly. Now, so that's very interesting. However, the intent is that you would pay for only qualified leads. Now, this is, again, a really efficient way to typically spend marketing dollars because, again, they were already actively looking and you can convert them pretty easily. But that's only one part of the equation. Not everybody clicks on ads. Usually you get about, 19% of people are going to click somewhere in that ad box. So you got a big chunk of people that are not clicking on ads. So we got to look at the next part on the search results page, and that's going to be, I'm going to skip through this because we're short on time, but we're going to look at the next search box, which is going to be the map pack. And I'm sure you guys have seen that before. It's the part that shows the map and it shows the local businesses. I'm sure you guys have Google Map listings. This section actually gets 52% of the clicks. So this is highly valuable real estate to own on the search results page. The challenge with this is that it's hard to get there. It's not always easy, especially if you're in a more competitive market. So you got to do some activities to help get you there. So some tips for your Google business page, you got to make sure that you're optimizing all your business data. You got to fill in as much as you can. Obviously, you want to have your name, address, and phone number, but your hours, you want to have your category selected, your service areas, you want to be posting on a regular basis, you want to be generating reviews. We got these cool review stands. I highly recommend you get one of these and put them at your front desk. Basically, your patients just tap this as they leave. It gives them a little notification and they can just quickly leave a review. The more reviews that you have, the better. This is a big ranking signal. Not only is it about the volume of reviews, but also the consistency at which you get reviews. What Google doesn't want to see is you get 100 reviews one month and then for the next 6 months you don't get any. They want to see consistency over time. You want to consistently drive to get more and more reviews. You should be doing other things too, like texting after they leave. You can have systems that will automatically text them after they leave, asking them to leave a review. Those are always really good systems and super valuable. Posting on a regular basis. You can actually put photos up. You should be doing that at least once a week. Try to do fun things too. Make yourself personable. People can see what it's like being in the office. Setting up a virtual tour. I'm sure you guys have seen the Google Street View. Or maybe doing the Matterport tours when you're like buying real estate. You can hire someone to come out and they take out these 360 cameras. We ship them out to our clients, but you basically set it up and it takes a 360 photo and then you do those a bunch throughout the entire office and then you stitch them together. And then you get this virtual walkthrough of the whole practice. What's cool about these is that when you have this on your listing, your engagement scores go up because people will click through this. And then when your engagement scores go up, you start ranking higher. Engagement is a level of one of the ranking factors in the algorithm. Posting on a regular basis. A lot of people don't know that you can post on your map listing just like you can on Facebook. You should be doing so at least once a week. Don't use stock photos. You'll get penalized for that. Take real photos. Get good quality photos in your practice. Putting a map on your website, embedding your Google Maps like right on your website is highly valuable. This is called Google stacking. We're stacking the entities of Google across the different platforms. I already talked about your third-party sites getting listed on directories. This is highly valuable. When you do all the right activities and you do it for long enough, our goal is to get from a map that looks like this, where you rank where when you're in your office. It's pretty easy to rank when you're standing in your office. The hard part is ranking when you start getting a few miles down the road. You can see how fast that'll drop off if you're not doing this stuff. The goal is to look like this. You want to be showing up in the top spots all across town. this is much more visible to everybody in your area. So if you do all the right stuff, you're going to go for something like that, something like this. You're going to get much more patient activity flowing in from Google.
What do you call a map like that?
A ranking heat map. Yeah, a Google ranking heat map, something like that. There's a lot of different tools that will run this. We use Bright Local, but there's different ones that'll do this. Okay, so we got the map pack, highly valuable. You got ads, map pack, now it's your website. I already talked about your website rankings. Do all this stuff. That'll help your website rank to the top. The goal is to show up in all 3 spots. So regardless of where someone scrolls, you're getting maximum visibility on that search results page. Holy smokes, that was a lot of stuff about Google. Everybody feel good about that? Yeah. Okay. Any questions on Google? Websites? Good? Okay. Next, I want to talk about this second bucket, which is probably a much larger part of your population in your area. Social media advertising. Social media just happens to be a really inexpensive way to get a lot of content in front of a lot of eyeballs. So when people are not actively looking for you, we can tap into the power of these social channels to start attracting patients. Now, a lot of practices get this wrong, and it's not necessarily your fault, but a lot of agencies out there and marketing people are telling you, well, you got to run lead generation ads. You guys seen these before? Essentially, you take your new patient special offer and you're saying, okay, everybody, here's my offer, click here, sign up, come in. Well, the challenge with that is 90% of people don't know what this is. A lot of people think, oh yeah, chiropractors, they crack backs. That feels good. It's kind of like a massage. That's not the patient you're looking for. They're not actually committed to long-term care. So what ends up happening? You get all these leads. You're calling, you're texting, you're emailing them. When you do, they don't respond because they're not actually serious about it. So you spend a lot of time spinning your wheels chasing leads. Has anybody experienced that before? Yeah. The reason why is because in social media land, they weren't on there looking for a chiropractor. They're tire kickers. They saw the deal and they were like, oh yeah, maybe that'll feel good one day, I'll go in. But unfortunately, this is not what grows your practice. Yes, you want leads. Yes, you want growth and you want people to raise their hand and say that they're interested. But just running lead generation ads to a cold audience who doesn't know what you do is spinning your wheels. You're texting them, they're not texting back. When they do text back, they don't book. When they do book, they don't show up. When they do show up, they're not actually interested in long-term care. They were there for the one back crack and then you never see them again. And that's frustrating. As a practice owner, you spend all this time and money and effort building your social media presence and generating leads and paying for service providers and whatever the case is, just to spin your wheels chasing leads. And the fact is that, again, 90% of these people have never seen a chiropractor before. And if you compare that to the dental space, you got 65% of people that'll see a dentist every year. And the main reason is education. There's a knowledge gap. There's a huge knowledge gap. Most people do not understand spinal health, taking care of their spine. That's not common in our culture, but brushing your teeth twice a day, seeing a hygienist every 6 months, that's pretty normal. So you're fighting an uphill battle. There's a huge knowledge gap, and we have to close that gap. Of course, if they understood chiropractic care, of course they would choose to see a chiropractor. If they knew as much about spinal health as you do, it's a no-brainer. So if you look at a sales funnel, lead conversion, sign up for my new patient special, it's really hard to get good quality conversions when most of these people aren't even aware of what it is that you do. So what we want to do is we want to work from the funnel, at the top of the funnel, and work our way down. We're not just going to, yes, you do want leads, but we're not just going to focus on leads. We're going to work the entire funnel. So how we do that is we create video content. Video content is king, and when you can use video content to get in front of more people, you can significantly drive more awareness and understanding of chiropractic care, and then of course they're going to want to come see you. So we got to get you on camera. We got to get your associates on camera. We got to get them creating educational content. I went over this in the other room about creating educational content because this can be a little intimidating. Getting on camera, recording yourself, putting yourself out there, being an influencer. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to create content really easily and become the most well-known practice and doctor in your area. The end goal here is to be the household name, the authority figure in the space, where anytime someone gets in a car wreck, has an injury at work, has a bad headache, they're going to think, oh yeah, I got to go see that doctor. That's where you want to be. So to do this, creating video content, I have a script outline that you can follow. I gave this to the other group too. But we want to make video content super easy to make. So I have a framework here that you can follow. It's 5 steps. First, we're going to do an introduction to a particular symptom. Pick out the most common symptom that you see in your office or that you want to focus on. If you really want to focus on, people with bad headaches and stuff, excellent. Let's make a video about that. And we're just going to fill in the gaps based on as if you were talking to a patient sitting in your office. So do an intro. One of the most common things we see in our office is headaches. Now we're going to explain it a little bit. A lot of people have headaches because XYZ. Now we're going to give them some tips. Now this is a key point here. You want to give them some value that they can walk away with, something that they're going to remember. If you're experiencing headaches, you got to try XYZ. This is what we recommend. You got to drink more water, you got to stretch, you got to get more sleep, whatever the thing is. Then you need to position chiropractic care. Here in our office, here's what we do to help our patients dealing with headaches. We do XYZ. And then you're going to do a soft call to action. If you have headaches problems, give us a call. We'd love to evaluate and see if we can help. Now, we did this over in the other room where we actually, someone came up and we filmed them. We actually edited it and showed how easy and simple this is to make it video content way less intimidating. It's super easy to do. It just takes a little bit of practice. But use this framework. Swap out headaches with something else, and you basically have a good video. You do that 12 times, and now you got this library of all these little 90-second videos. And now we can start promoting them on our social media channels. We put them into our advertising campaigns. And it only costs us anywhere between 1 to 4 pennies to get someone to watch one of those videos. So now what that means is we can get all this content that you've generated into front of a lot of eyeballs for a really low cost. These are some example accounts, 66,000 views, 18,000, 25. Imagine having 40,000 people in your area watch your little headache video. That's pretty powerful. So now what we're going to do is going to say, okay, hey, Facebook, anybody that watches any of our videos or maybe visits our website or maybe is already on our email list, we know that they have some level of interest. Could be a little bit, it could be a lot. But they're somewhere on that spectrum, otherwise they wouldn't have watched it. They would have just kept scrolling, right? So we're gonna say, okay, Facebook, anybody that's interested, we wanna put them in our bucket, our audience, and we're gonna start hitting them over and over and over and over and over again. And that's called retargeting. And you've probably been the victim of retargeting before. You ever been on Amazon shopping for the red tennis shoes, and then you go to Facebook and you're like, oh my gosh, those are the red tennis shoes I was just looking at. That's retargeting. My phone's listening to me, right? You can do the same thing. You can build an audience and nurture them over and over. So then this is what happens. They watch the first video and all of a sudden they get the sciatica video. Then they get the posture video. Then they get the sleep positioning video. Then they get the decompression video, then the headache video, and then the backpack video, and then the whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that 8 weeks later, 12 weeks later, they've now seen you 30 times. They know your face. They know your name. They know your brand. Or maybe it's your associate. They know your associate. You've just become the authority figure. And now they understand chiropractic care significantly better than they did before. You can even do things where you create videos about certain audiences. So in this example, this doctor made a video about golf. He was talking about how spine flexibility impacts your golf swing. I'm not a golfer, but you could take a video like that and you can say, okay, Facebook, show that to people who have an interest in golf. So now if you're interested in golf and you're scrolling your feed and you see, oh yeah, this guy's holding a golf club, you're much more likely to stop and watch that video and see what's going on. You do that for half a second and then all of a sudden you're getting the rest of the stuff over and over and you're sucking people into your world. So we're driving awareness through educational content. We're pulling people in that are interested. We're building an audience and nurturing them through retargeting. Now, of course, when they see the new patient special, that makes way more sense to them. You're the authority figure. You're the go-to doctor. They understand spinal health significantly better and what this actually means to them. So a lot of times, you're going to start getting better quality clicks. better quality leads, better quality patients walking through the door that are pre-positioned to want to see a chiropractor. Sometimes they'll convert on Facebook. Sometimes they watch a bunch of your videos and then all of a sudden they start having headaches and they go to Google and they're like, oh yeah, I gotta go find that chiropractor. So you run all the videos and maybe you don't convert them on Facebook, but now all of a sudden you start getting more Google traction. People coming into your website from Google. So all this stuff blends together. They piggyback off of each other. Marketing is not a one channel, blinders on, eggs in one basket. We want to diversify our strategies so we can elevate everything everywhere. What we're trying to do is get away from you trying to chase leads all the time. You're a doctor. You don't need to chase leads. We want to create demand. We call this demand generation. More people will want to see a chiropractor if they understand it better. If they get educated and understand it better, they're much more likely to want it. So when you look at marketing channels over the course of time, they all kind of play a different role. So at the bottom here, you've got a timeline, and across the top over here, you've got the impact that it has on the practice. Now, this is labeled traffic, but you could swap that out for engagement, new patient leads, new patient appointments. You can put whatever label you want, but that's kind of the impact. So let's look at some of these. This yellow section here, this is PPC, pay-per-click. These are paid ads on Google, paid ads on social media. Now, when you run these, sometimes you can get a little bit of a boost early on. And the end goal is to try to decrease your ad spend over time. That would be awesome if you didn't have to run paid ads forever. The other channels, like having a good social media presence and a following, doing good public relations in the community, showing up at the events, sponsoring the local baseball team, having a relationship with the Chamber of Commerce, doing screening events at the gyms, etc. Sometimes you don't get a ton of traction from that early on. So people give up on it. They're like, I don't need to build a social following. I don't need to go to the events. But this is what happens. The longer you do it, the better it gets. The bigger the audience, the bigger the impact that it has. Same thing with content and SEO. You don't get a lot of it early on, but it compounds over time. You guys know the time value of money. You invest in your 401k, it looks the same. You don't get a lot up early on, but after you do it for a while and it compounds and it builds and it grows and all of a sudden it overtakes what you're doing on paid. And then the idea is if you can do this really well, hopefully you can scale back how much you're spending on paid media. That's where you want to get to. So a big question is, okay, how do we create content? What kind of content do I create? I gave you a framework, but we also have this, which is called the Media Day Checklist. This is free for you guys. If you want to scan that code, you can download this. It goes through some information about how to record videos, good video topic ideas, script outlines that you can copy and paste, example videos from other clients that have done well with video content that you can copy and paste. This is a pretty valuable tool. You can use this, hand it off to your team, and have them start cranking out content. How am I doing on time? All right. Good on social?
Question.
Yes.
So retargeting, how does that occur?
How does retargeting,
Targeting.
how does that occur?
Yeah.
Yep.
You say it's great to retarget, but how does that occur? Is it just because you keep running it or is it, I'm unclear, how does retargeting happen?
So inside of your advertising account, you can go into a section inside the advertising account called audiences. And you can build audiences in there. And when you run your campaigns, you can say, okay, target that audience that I built. And there's a lot of different types of audiences that you can create.
So that's based on if someone clicks on something that you add, then you've already chosen that you're going to retarget them by going into the social media platform and checking that box, essentially.
Correct. So you would build an audience and say, okay, in my example, it was anybody that watches my videos, I want to put in my audience. So you'll have an audience for people who watch my videos. You might have another audience for people who visit your website. So you would have like a Facebook pixel on your website, and it tracks that activity, and it puts people in your audience. And you start hitting those people over and over again. You can also take your existing patient list, your database, you can export that out of your EHR. You can upload that as a Facebook audience. So what it will do is it will try to take their phone and email or whatever and try to find that person's profile and put them in your audience. It's not going to tell you who it finds. There's privacy, of course. But you could, if you have a pretty big list of existing patients, you can upload that as a retargeting audience. So those might not be new patients, but they might be patients that you haven't seen in a while. You could reactivate them. You can nurture that relationship with them. All of a sudden, your PVA starts going up. They used to come in for back pain, but then they see all your headache videos and like, I didn't know that you could help with headaches.
That's not a HIPAA violation.
No, the reason why it's not is because you're not providing the health information to Facebook. It's just saying this is a targeted list. And it's also not telling you, Facebook doesn't reply back like, oh, these are the people we found. It's just giving you a group and saying, okay, we'll target the matches that we have. That's a good question. Any other questions on that? Good? Okay. So those were the first three things. We've got having a killer website, so you know it's going to do its job. You have establishing a strong presence for when people are searching for help on Google, ChatGPT, etc. Then you have how to have a really good social media strategy that's going to help propel your practice, not necessarily this month, but for next month and 6 months from now and next year and 5 years from now, using this strategy to help grow the practice over time. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is using a CRM platform. So you may have used one before, maybe you haven't, but I highly recommend that you get yourself some type of software that can help you track all this activity. And typically, these softwares are going to enable you to do a bunch of things. I'm going to talk about some of the features to look for when you're picking out your CRM. This is different than an EHR. Typically, your EHR is going to take over as soon as they become a patient, so after they book their first appointment. The CRM is going to take care of all the activity and tracking before they become a patient, so all your marketing efforts, your leads, your follow-up, et cetera. So a good CRM system, it's going to track all your leads. That's pretty straightforward. You're going to be getting leads in from your website and the chat widget and people booking online and texting and then people coming in from social and people coming in from Google. And you want to have a system in place to track all that activity. Where are these leads coming from? Where are they at in the process? Have we followed up with them? Did they book? We don't want to let these leads fall through the cracks. If you're going to invest in marketing, you want to have a system in place to track it. Make sure that you're pushing people through the funnel. A good CRM system is going to allow you to text. If you're not texting already in your practice, you got to get a texting platform. Patients love to text. There's something about living in 2025 where people don't want to pick up the phone and talk to you on the phone. They would much rather text you or email you or whatever. So have a texting platform. So leads come in, you can have the system where you can text them right from the software. Have a system that can do automations for you. So when leads come in, it will automatically text them. So you don't have to manually do it. They sign up on Facebook, they sign up on Google and on the website. They raise their hand, they say that they're interested, have the system automatically kick out a text message. You can even have a system that has an AI-powered assistant in there where you train it on your practice. It knows all your services and conditions and symptoms that you focus on. It knows your insurance providers that you accept, your pricing structure, et cetera. The AI bot will read any incoming messages, formulate a response, and then kick out the answer automatically for you. There are systems out there that work via chat, but also over voice, so it'll actually pick up the phone for you. You can have that during normal business hours. Some practices choose to only do it if they miss a call. It will forward to the AI bot to pick up the phone, or maybe it's after hours. But the AI is getting better and better and better, and I think I have an example video I can show you what it sounds like, but it's pretty cool. Have a CRM system or some type of online booking option. I already talked about that. Patients love to book themselves, so have a system for that. If your EHR doesn't provide one, make sure your CRM does. You could do things like call tracking, email marketing, automated review collection, texting after their visit, so it automatically asks them to leave a review, gives them the Google review link from your Google map listing, having a chat widget that goes on your website. All that stuff is really powerful and is gonna set up your practice to manage all of that incoming activity and, you know, position getting them into the door, taking some of that manual work off of your plate, off of your CAs, off of your staff, and using software and automations to make that happen. Here's an example of like an automated workflow. So an example would be like someone fills out the form on Facebook, they automatically get an email, and they also get a phone call from the AI platform, and then they get a text message from the AI platform. So you're hitting them on all the 3 communication channels automatically. It will monitor if they respond or if they book, and if they do not, after a certain point of time, it will go ahead and send them another message and follow up with them the next day or maybe 48 hours later. You can adjust those cadences and that messaging to your liking. So if you want to be a little bit more aggressive with your follow-up, or if you want to like have some more, you know, gaps so you're not like pestering people, you can use automation to make that happen. There's systems to do so. Here's an example. I was texting, we have a CRM we provide our clients, and here's an example of that. So automated text messages came back to me when I filled out the lead form. I asked, hey, are you available too? No, I'm not. Here's a better time. Yeah, I can do that. Okay, great. I'm booking you. Perfect, thanks. This is all automated. There was no human interaction on the other side. That was all done via AI. Here's an example script. If you want to do the voice version, you can actually kind of predetermine how you want the conversation to go. So the AI will kind of know like, okay, here's kind of an outlined script, and then what it's going to do is listen for the patient to respond and then formulate a response to continue the conversation down this direction, knowing that the ultimate goal is to try to get them to book, but it's going to, you know, have that live conversation, and I'll show you an example of that. It's pretty wild. I think this is the video.
You can plug the audio into your computer.
Is that this thing?
It's a little stereo jack that would go in your headset jack like a snack.
Sir, let me help. Got it? Oh, you got it right there.
Hello?
Hey Nick, this is Tori from Winter's Edge Chiropractic. How's your day going so far?
This is a robot.
Good, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So, I see that you responded to our ad about our $47 new patient special. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do. I have some neck pain going on. I'd like to see if I can get some help.
I'm sorry to hear about your neck pain, Nick. We definitely want to help you out. I'm with the patient success team, and I wanted to check in and see if we can get you booked for your appointment. I apologize in advance if there's a bit of a delay in the audio today. But yeah, I'm looking at our calendar now, and let's see. Can you tell me what dates and times might be convenient for you?
Yeah, how about Friday morning, maybe somewhere around 9 o'clock?
Got it, Nick. I see that you're looking for a Friday morning appointment around 9 o'clock. Let me check if we have that available. All right, it looks like we have a 9:30 a.m. slot available on Friday. Would that work for you?
Yeah, I can do that. Let's do, 9:30.
Perfect, Nick. I'll go ahead and lock in that 9:30 a.m. slot for you on Friday. Also, I'm going to send you a confirmation to your email with some additional instructions and a little bit of paperwork for you to knock out ahead of time. Does that work for you?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Great, Nick. I'm glad that works for you. I'll make sure to send you the confirmation email with all the details. Just keep an eye out for it in your inbox. If you have any questions or need any assistance, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help.
I won't make you listen to the rest of it, but yeah, that was an AI bot. Now, you can tell it's a robot a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. That was actually taken 2 years ago. Yeah, so imagine what AI does today with the scripting and the voice and the natural language. That script could probably use a little bit of work, but again, that was 2 years ago. So AI is becoming much more powerful and can really help elevate the experience for people. So holy smokes, that was like a cram-packed session full of info. I don't expect you to remember all of that, but I do have a book that goes through all of that and more. You guys probably saw the big stack of books out there. If you didn't get a chance to get one or don't want me to ship you one, you can scan that code. I'll ship it to you instead. If you want the slides that I went through in this room or that room, just send me an email. I'll send them to you. Yeah, any questions?
Is there a video editor that you recommend for organic videos?
There is, and I actually did go over that in the other room. I don't know if you have anybody over there, but it's called Descript. Descript is a really easy to use platform that you can quickly crank out videos, and it's got AI built into it, which makes it even easier. So it'll throw captions on for you automatically. It'll transcribe the video automatically. You can do jump cuts out of there. You can do all the different sizes of videos, square, portrait, horizontal, etc. It's pretty good. It's only like $20, I think we said $24 a month. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Say it again, what's the name of it?
Descript. Descript, yes. Descri. Descript.
And when you
PT.
went over it over there, it was really kind of cool. But I get freaked out by that kind of stuff, and I was like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, it's easier than you think. There was a question here.
Yeah, I know with Descript, from what I learned at lunch, it will take away, can remove as you edit the captions.
Yeah. So
Can
what?
it add? Like, let's say you want to say, well, you want to say the cervical spine instead of the neck, or you want to.
Yeah. So there's the voice dubbing.
The voice dubbing.
Yes, it can do that too. So it'll automatically remove like your ums and the dead space and stuff. And then if you accidentally slip up on your words and you want to change like a word, it'll do.
It'll do that.
Yeah.
And that's done with B-roll, or will it change how your mouth is moving?
I'm not an expert at it, so I don't know that for sure. But I don't think it will automatically put B-roll on there unless you ask it to. But usually, if it's just like one word in the video, yeah, it's like nobody will even know that you changed the one thing. So there was a question. So the one that we provide our clients is called Engage. We built that on top of the high level system. So I'm sure maybe you guys have heard of high level, but our version of that is called Engage. We've built it specifically for chiropractic. But there's a bunch out there. I mean, really, you just got to find one that works well for your practice. ReviewWave and Aloha has some overlap, that's a pretty popular software, but it doesn't do like lead tracking and stuff, so it's kind of missing out on some of those other components. But yeah, there's so many CRM systems. You just got to find one that checks your boxes for you guys and is easy to use. The one that your team will adopt is the best one, because if you don't adopt it and use it, then it doesn't do you any good. So you might have to try a couple to see which ones your team likes the most. So
I saw that the website that you had up was by Inception. Are they someone that you recommend?
I don't think any sites that I had on there were Inception. All of those were from ours.
You also like an Inception website.
Which one was that? I don't.
It was one of them that was like book. It was when you were talking about book this.
Oh,
Book that from like at the very beginning.
oh, okay.
Is Inception someone that you recommend?
They're pretty good. Yeah, I think, their designs, a lot of times they're cookie cutter templates, which is not always a bad thing, but sometimes it's hard to stand out as a brand. And then, when I've analyzed their sites, there can be some pitfalls in the SEO side of things, but you can get all sorts of varying opinions. Inception is a big provider. We also do websites. There's Online Chiro, Perfect Patients. There's a bunch of website providers. You could hire someone local. The point is to try to use someone that understands like the code and like the SEO components, because anybody can go build a Wix website. You could hire a college kid that can whip up a site easily, but if they don't know like the inner workings of like the Google algorithm and take that into account, sometimes it'll suffer. So, but Inception's a good option.
Vance, you had a question?
No, it was a CMR question.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
As far as video content, what's the current sweet spot as far as length of the videos?
Yeah, so social media, you got short attention spans. So usually like that 60 to 90 second mark is usually pretty good. For most of the platforms like Instagram and TikTok, they tell you to keep it under 3 minutes. So it's definitely got to be under 3 minutes. But usually, yeah, like that minute and a half spot tends to be pretty good. But it's not super, if you're a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, that's okay. But usually it's going to be in that ballpark.
If somebody, so the simplest video project, so I want to get some video up, but almost a no-fail. What would you suggest the doctor do?
So I would suggest setting up a camera or getting someone to hold a camera for you and setting an hour of time aside and crank out a bunch of videos. Pick a symptom and then follow that outline that I provided. Because that's going to be pretty much, if you take that outline and you insert any symptom into that, you pretty much got a pretty decent video. So talk to the camera as if it was a patient sitting in your room. You don't need to pretend that you're like this big influencer. You can have your own personality, be authentic. If you pretend that the camera is just like a patient in your room with you and you're just talking to it as if it's a patient, it'll come across really natural. So pick a symptom, go through that outline that I provide using those 5 components, record it, throw it into the script, hit the little AI tool. It'll chop it out, all the mistakes and pull out all the gaps. I taught the other room how to do all of that, but I can send you guys instructional videos if you want to do it yourself. And then you take that and you can publish it and put it in your campaigns. So.
On your YouTube channel first?
Yeah, so I would suggest doing them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. TikTok's a little challenging though because it's not very localized, but yeah.
Did your book digital too? Just out of curiosity?
I do not have a digital version of the book. I have the hard copy. Which is weird for a digital.
Yeah.
Why do you got to call me out like that?
Thanks a lot.
If you have multiple doctors in your clinic, it's a good idea to keep one on there, have several of them do the educational stuff. What's the best way?
Yeah, so that's a little different for each practice. If you're trying to build the brand of the clinic, I would recommend kind of having everybody participate. In some instances, there might be one of the doctors that's really comfortable on camera and they come across natural and they kind of have that like charisma, and you can lean into that. If you don't have a standout like that, yeah, swapping out some of the talent on the videos can be helpful for, building the entire practice's brand.
So, best practices, chiropractors that you know that are doing the, are they shooting video every day? How many times do they post video? How many doctors, do they have team members? For instance, if they have somebody who's really energetic and extroverted, and do you have team members do that as well, like a COA, community outreach assistant?
Yeah, you could, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it comes best from an authority perspective. It comes best from like one of the doctors. But yeah, as far as like volume, you really can't post too frequently.
Tell me that one more time. Now, when you say, so somebody's posting every single day.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you look at like the big influencers like Alex Hormozy, for example, I'm sure you guys have seen his stuff. He posts like 300 times a day. You can't post too much.
300 times.
Yeah, it's wild.
I used to be a chiropractor, now I'm in video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul?
So with all the video platforms available out there, if you had to pick one, say between YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, which one would you say, because it can get crazy, if you had to pick one, which one would you put the most time and effort into?
So when you create one video, you can distribute that to all of them at no penalty. If you're going to run paid advertising with those videos, which is what I recommend, I would definitely focus on the Facebook, Instagram channel, which is all Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. So you run the Facebook ads, it will also run them on Instagram. That's where you're going to get the most traction with building the audience and doing the nurturing and stuff. That's where your patients are going to be spending most of their time when they're doom scrolling. So.
who has a pretty good video? You're taking a bunch of video right now and you're posting a bunch. Who's doing that right now? Let's see, I'm gonna go with Nick Dakota. How many times do you guys post in a week? 3 to 5? Okay, okay. Anybody posting more than 3 to 5? David?
We're at daily, pretty much. She like sets it up for daily.
Okay, great. How about you guys, Joe?
Daily.
Daily? Okay, great, great. Well, I asked Nick to come and speak for a couple different reasons, because every time I speak to him, all that he says makes super, super sense. One of the things that he suggested that I do was do a free book giveaway. And because I told him that I wanted to generate more leads for 5-star management. And to date, we've given away, I think in just about a month's time now, we've given away and received emails and text or mobile phone numbers from over 120 different people who've gotten the books. And we have got conversations, and we're meeting people, and so we're really upping our game in terms of video and posting as much as we possibly can. So, Nick, thanks a bunch. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Give Nick a hand, please.
Thank you.
And I'll take your mic off you. We can just put that on the table. Now, our last hour, no, that was our last hour. I do have some instructions and some ideas for you. I want you to be able to take 1 or 2 things from the opening hour, which was all about raison d'etre, all about reason why. I want you to know your motivation.
Catch a flight. I do.
Tomorrow, I would like for you to be able to think of maybe 1 or 2
Thank you.
or
Yeah.
3, or maybe there's 6 things that you got from our panel discussion, Carrie, Matt, Misty, and Brian.